The Beatles, a story of four rock stars and their journey to stardom. Ringo the Rock Sediment was all alone. He was lying on the side of a hill, dreaming of submarines and octopuses. Suddenly, he started to move. "Oh no," he said. "Why am I moving?" Ringo looked up to see that there were hundreds of other rock sediments falling around him. "This must be erosion," he said. Ringo sang as he passed dozens of plants and animals. Finally, the little rock sediment was deposited at the bottom of the hill. He looked up to see what had caused all the commotion. At the top of the mountain, Ringo could faintly see gusts of wind blowing around plants and other small rocks. He realized that the wind was the cause of his movement. But now, Ringo was feeling very squished. Other rock sediments were piling around and on top of him, creating many layers. As Ringo tried to block out the sound of rocks clashing into each other, he felt a thud, as a rock sediment had fallen right into place right next to him. "Ow!" the rock sediment said. "Who are you?" asked Ringo. "Oh, hi, I'm John," said the rock sediment. "I'm Ringo. Till there was you. I've been very lonely. Is it just me, or are we being flattened?" Ringo said. "You're right, it does feel like that, but no, we are not being flattened. This is just one of the first stages in the rock cycle. The pressure you feel is called compaction. Soon we will be cemented together in layers," replied John. "Interesting," said Ringo. "I'm just going to until I get out of here." "Nice try, but we have been cemented together and now are one big sedimentary rock," said John. Ringo looked around. He had spent so much time talking that he never noticed how much compaction had really been going on. He was now squished into John and many other rock sediments. They were now sedimentary rock. "Gosh, it's getting hot," said Ringo. "Yeah, it is," said something next to him. "Who are you?" asked Ringo. "Hi, I'm Paul," said the rock. "Oh, hi, I'm Ringo, and this is John," Ringo replied. "The heat and pressure is starting. I can feel it," said John. The rock started to get heated, and pressure increased as time crept on. "Ugh, when will this end?" complained Ringo, who was miserable. "Soon," said John. The rocks waited and waited, just like until finally the process was complete. They were now metamorphic rock. As it got even hotter, the metamorphic rock started to melt. "Is anyone feeling a little weird?" asked Paul. "Yeah, like a liquid. I feel really warm and flowy," answered Ringo nervously. "That is because we are melting," said John. "No, more heat," Ringo and Paul said simultaneously. "Yes, but it will be quick," said John. "It better be," said something next to them. "Hi, I'm George," the rock said. "Hello, I'm John. This is Ringo and Paul," said John. So much heat had been added to the rocks that they had melted and were now magma. "We are moving," said Paul. The magma was indeed flowing underground. "I can feel it too," said Ringo. "That's weird. Now it seems like we're moving upwards." "You're right. We are rising up the volcano. When we get to the top, the volcano will erupt," said John. "Wow," said George. "You know a lot about the rock cycle. You're like Mother Nature's son or something." "Yeah," Ringo and Paul agreed. "Well, I have traveled the rock cycle many times," said John. "I know the ups and downs of every stage. Speaking of, I believe we are nearing the top of the volcano." John was right. The magma was at the top. 3, 2, 1, blast off! The magma was spewed every which way as the volcano shot out the hot liquid. "Woo-hoo!" George yelled as he flew through the air. After a couple of seconds, the lava landed on the side of the mountain and started to slide down. "Phew, I'm glad that's over," said Ringo, relieved. As the lava slid down the volcano, it started to cool off. "Finally, we are cooling," said Paul. The rocks were starting to slow down and solidify. "We are starting the crystallization process," said John. "I feel much better," said George. Sang Ringo. He was happy to be solid again. They were now igneous rock. The igneous rocks had gotten to the bottom of the volcano and were submerged in water. "When we rolled down the volcano, we landed in this river," said John. "We are being weathered by the water." "That means we are going to be rock sediments again," exclaimed Ringo. Soon all four of the igneous rocks had been weathered into sediments. The river carried them to the hill where Ringo had started. "Thank you all so much for your help," said Ringo. "At first I was lost in the rock cycle, but I found my way home. The end.